The promise has been fulfilled, my dudes. I have been talking about doing a Snake Eater playthrough since the rumors started that the game was going to be remade in Unreal Engine, and I've already played a little bit of this. I've already got the Platinum Trophy. Just wanted to show that off before I begin. So I'm going to be playing, however, on a little bit of what you might call just like a normal setting, just to... I don't want to show you like the extreme stuff. There are some really cool features here. They got the Snake versus Monkeys. Guy Savage is like a little mini game that pops up somewhere at some point in the game, which I will not spoil. I will probably start with, you can see I've beaten the game a few times. This one says that I am on my third playthrough. I beat it on Foxhound Extreme. Basically, that means no discoveries and on a very difficult setting. And I was able to beat it on that. But for this, I am going to, I think I will do a new game because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to show off any of my cool rare armors or any of that, like costumes or gear or anything like that. Like everything in the Metal Gear Solid series, I'm going to play it on the new style. I want to go with normal setting with let's turn off tips. I don't need them. And I think that's it. There's one more thing. We'll have to change the settings when we get into the game. I will try to not talk during cutscenes.
The world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Got that David Hayter voiceover. I was very tempted to play the game in Japanese as well. It's original language. Ooh, my volume is really loud. To some degree, I prefer the PS2 graphics. I know, bonkers, but I do like the PS2. I feel like graphics for video games peaked about the PS2 era. But these are pretty good. There's a level of depth and detail that goes beyond just a graphical overhaul. And anybody who says that just doesn't understand game dev.
Altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
I'm going to have to do, this is probably going to be about a 2-hour video, just because there's like a lot of its cutscenes. Look at you can see the dirt under his fingernails.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
So dramatic, just throwing the cigar.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout bottle.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1.
Spread your wings.
And fly. God be with you.
3, 2, 1.
1. 3, 2, 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1.
It's a great intro, a great way to start an operation like this. Lone army dude dropped in from a plane, parachuting in, and then they lay out the mission objectives.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
There's an interesting tie to real-world fiction that adds this kind of like believability to it, that especially as you learn more and more about history, it's really changes the context of the game. So, for instance, when I first played this, I was just a much younger guy, so like I didn't really have any understanding of like, you know, what the Soviets really represented or what they were doing or why there was like these geopolitical tensions, you know.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west.
But tying it into real-world conflicts was really added a level of believability.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, a gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proof.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
What's particularly cool about this is, in many ways, it's sort of a remake of the original NES version of Metal Gear, which I played when I was just a little kid on the NES. Not the official version. The official version, directed by Kojima, was for the MSX, which I, of course, did not have. Most people in the US did not have an MSX. But much richer story, much more going on. But that game started out with, I think it was Solid Snake parachuting in for a sneaking mission. I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of that, really, though. That would be really interesting. There's so much material that they could use for remakes. Actually, that's one of the things I wanted to say. I did a sort of a game room review of this. It should be up by now on my channel, but it talks a lot about that, like the hopes and dreams for things for the future of the Metal Gear franchise. This game, I think they did just about the best they could possibly do. I can only think of a small handful of ways that they could have made improvements, and that would have just changed the game potentially too much, though. Like, they kept everything that was absolutely great about it and added some things that enhanced that. Mostly just in controls.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory. Somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one at a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must
That's a
not
David
be
Bowie
seen by the enemy.
reference, by the way.
You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I liked snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No. There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Okay, first things first. We got to make sure that it might already be set to the correct visual. There's options, graphics options, filter. I prefer Legacy. There are other graphical options such as monochrome or bleach bypass, for example, that make it look like, I guess you'd say almost like a 80s action movie, but I do not personally prefer such a thing. Let me, specifically when you go with Legacy, there we go. This is, you can see it immediately. This feels a lot closer to the PS2 version in terms of the color grading and contrast and things like that. There's also a little bit of advantage in the gameplay, like subtle, but when you get to some of the darker areas, it's a little bit more illuminated in this particular visual filter. One thing that I am noticing, I'm getting just a slight bit of lag. I really hope that doesn't mess with my gameplay. Do I have a gun? No, because I haven't gotten the backpack yet. So, yeah, pretty much the level layouts are exactly the same. I have not found any deviations in terms of the level layouts. I have found deviations in terms of like what items are where, the thickness of foliage. You can check out my playthrough of the HD collection remaster. I didn't go through the whole game though, but that's also on my channel. And man, the amount of cutscenes and just setup. We have yet another. This one's a really long one too.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a list on the screen. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
The boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned?
I want to pause it just here for a second. The reason why this just seems so poignant, like when I was, hey man, I'm almost 50 now. So like I'll look back and I think of all the things that have changed just in terms of culturally, societally. And what she's saying is essentially for a soldier, you have to be committed to the mission. You can't question orders. I've worked in offices. I learned the hard way, man. Like when your boss gives you instructions, you just have to do what they say. I'm an American, so like I tend to have a lot of fight in me. And I push back on a lot of things. I got myself in a lot of hot water working at some of these places. And the same is true, I think, socially. Like if you're saying things that make total freaking sense, and in a different period of time, you could be stoned to death for that. And we're definitely, like, I've seen that, certainly throughout the last, I want to say specifically the last decade of my life. Just the most common sense things just seem to have totally shifted. And so what she's saying is, like, if you're somebody who's, a soldier fighting on one side, yesterday's enemies, yesterday's enemy nations, armies, even opposing forces, opposing soldiers, they might be painted through politics as the complete villain, the complete opposite of you, the enemy. And you have to, if you're a soldier, you have to desensitize yourself to that. I think that it like raises a lot of moral questions. There's a lot of moral questioning going on throughout this story. And I think this, as a story writer, what's brilliant about putting that early in the game is it really sets the tone for what this story is really going to be about. Yesterday's ally is tomorrow's enemy, for example. Like that comes into play, especially with Cold War era spy games. But it's also true today. It's true in our modern politics, in our modern world. This is what I'm saying. Like, as a kid, I was raised on G.I. Joe, so I just saw the world as like black and white, good versus evil, right? And I'm not trying to make some commentary here. I'm just trying to analyze what I see in the game. And I'll tell you, man, like, this game, even when it first came out, I didn't fully grasp what she was even saying. But it seems more relevant now than ever before that it's really about that sort of like seeing the humanity behind people who may just be in a different alignment than you at this particular time in history. But it's not immortal. There's no such thing as an eternal enemy. I believe she says that. And of course, he's making it very personal. It's very personal to him. He had quite a relationship with her. But this also is really important to have her part of his codec call this early in the game. And by the way, another thing I want to say real quick. I hate games that throw so much exposition at you so early in the game, but for some reason, maybe it's the kind of delivery and the kind of way that this game is engaging that, like, we've only seen, 2 minutes of gameplay, and we're like a half an hour in. Well, get ready for it, man. There's a lot more of that, where that came from. Let's finish it up.
Didn't me.
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Call me Snake.
Oh, right. Your codename is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a Snake. The Cobra unit. A group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Oh, yeah. That looks so cool on the 3DS.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
And by the way, if you've never played it, the 3DS version ain't a bad version. I said it in my HD collection commentary that that was the best version of this game until now. I am going to try to not get spotted. I'm going to try to do a pretty good run. I'm going to do what I can. I've played it on extreme. Don't expect perfection. Don't expect a master class in Metal Gearism here. It's we're gonna do an okay job. That's what we're. If you're cool with me doing an okay job, then you're gonna enjoy this playthrough. I'm a bit of a rambler once I start playing Metal Gear. I do find that I like trying new things all the time wherever I can. This isn't gonna necessarily. Like, I'm not trying to achieve anything. I've already gotten... I don't even know if I'll play through the whole game. I'm going to do what I can. We're going to see what we can do. You'll notice, by the way, this was really cool. Look at the mud caked up on him. Let me get in the light here. Oh, man, there's a lot of tree shadows. Let me find a spot with the light. There we go. Just look at all that mud just caked up on him, man. Whew. And it's slowly drying and hardening. I was going to crouch and I dove. Yeah, I remember the controls. A big thing with this version, and I'm sure you all already know it, but you can crouch and you can aim over the shoulder in traditional third person. That's not something you could do in the original. I don't even know why. Other than that, the director got motion sick, So the original way to
I've
play it
spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
was top down,
They're
which is
probably
terrible.
KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
So I'm not the kind of a person that loves everything Kojima does, right? And so I'm going to piss off some people who are like that because I've got some criticisms about things. And I think in many cases, what was done here in this game, because it was redone, I think it's a superior version. And I believe Kojima has already disavowed this. Somebody asked him, are you going to, what are your thoughts on Snake Eater Delta? Are you going to play it? And he just laughed. He almost mocked it. Perhaps it was a difference of communication in the translation. But I think that he doesn't like being sort of steered or controlled or having his work reworked. But at the same time, that I really strongly disagree with that. I think that in many ways, the best, and this is the part that'll piss off Kojima fans, Koji heads. No, I don't know what you call them. I think that he does his best work when he has to answer to other people. I think Kojima did his best work when other people were involved in the process, when it wasn't just him with kind of going unchecked. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Death Stranding, but it's nowhere near what Metal Gear Solid delivered. And in many ways, this is an opportunity for Konami to go, well, we're going to fix some of the things that weren't working that Kojima was very adamant about doing. And most of the time, I just find that he gets very rambly with his script writing in Death Stranding when he's untethered, And I wouldn't begrudge the guy the freedom to do whatever the heck he wants, but I certainly found that when he was at his best was when he had other people, other writers to answer to that were saying, hey, we need to set up more exposition here. Hey, maybe we need to explain this thing or that thing. Or, hey, maybe we should tell the player how to do some of these things we expect them to do, and you can see very clearly with Death Stranding that he doesn't listen to people or he doesn't have people on his team that would do that. And that's possibly because he's like the studio head there at Kojima Productions. Whereas back in the day when he was doing this, he wasn't. I mean, he was the director, but he still had people to answer to, and he still had, was that the food or was that the bees? Oh, I need to knock down the bees. Oh no, you're a terrible shot, Snake. Come on. Terrible. Here we go. So that's going to cause him to run across that bridge. No? You already missed it. Okay, I guess I got to get... Oh, this is bad. No, no, I totally got spotted right there. Oh, shizzles.
HQ, respond.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. Enemy sighted. Requesting backup.
Do not request backup.
Reinforcements.
Oh, shit. Did they spot me? They did. Oh my gosh, get up, get up. No, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Right, get up. He's not getting up. That did not go well. I've got a little bit of lag. I hate to blame it on that, but it's totally what's going on. Got a little bit of lag. I wonder if I could run this, just record it from my PlayStation. I'm going to try a new setup. I'm going to try a setup that involves no lag. Let me save it here.
Saving the game, Snake?
I'm out of save slots. That's funny.
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla King of Monsters?
No, what is it?
It's a movie. You haven't seen it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
I know. So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in his path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
If you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America too. It might even win awards all across the globe in 60 years.
Why's that?
2024 will be Godzilla's 70th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course. Everybody loves Godzilla.
Kojima.
You sure know a lot about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
I would love to just do a movie binge and watch all of Paramedic's movie recommendations. I've seen probably half of the ones that she talks about throughout the game, but it's also just a nice thing to have these codec calls. So it's something that just most games won't do, but it's a great way to give the player a lot more information without like giving them, I don't know, not interrupting them with like a tutorial or a tip, but it's totally optional. And then also having optional characters. Back with Metal Gear Solid 1, there were characters you didn't even have to talk to through the whole game. If you don't use their codec number, you don't even have to talk to them. But if you do, you get all these extra bits of dialogue. It's like, I think that's part of the biggest fun about Metal Gear is there's just so many things to try out and so many like contingencies. It's like, I just want to see what it's like. What happens if I throw poison snakes at like an enemy? Well, they get poisoned and then they freak out, like, and then it feels like the world's alive, you get the codec frequency and you can call off an alert. Like, that's amazing. That kind of stuff is really cool. Anyway, real quick, I'm going to switch over to my PlayStation 5. Let me see if this works better. All right, dudes, we're back with full-on 2K resolution gameplay because I can't export in the proper format. Complicated stuff. I'm on my PlayStation 5. I am... Oh, there's a frog right there. And I am feeling it because I'm getting a much better frame rate now. That does not mean, by the way, that it ain't a challenge. This is still... Oh, they gave me the easy gun? That's weird. I'm not on easy mode. Am I on easy mode? Normal mode. That's weird. They give you the easy gun. Maybe because I died off camera a couple of times and I didn't want to show you because it was too embarrassing. This particular part, this bridge, this rickety bridge, really forces you to. It's a test of your patience, and they put this in the beginning for a very important reason. I think from a game design standpoint, I think it's like to remind the player this is not the game. This is not Call of Duty. You do not run right in and just blast everything up. You can, I guess, but you're going to run out of ammo. You're going to cause all kinds of alerts. You're going to make it way harder for yourself.
What's wrong?
And I am going to try as best I can to creep up on this fella. I'm a bit surprised they didn't use Russian for the soldiers. If you play Metal Gear Solid 5, all the Russian soldiers speak Russian. Oh no. I was gonna do a hold up, but when I saw this guy, when I saw that there's another dude coming, I'm like, nah, man. Many times while playing this, I was like doing the Metal Gear Solid 5 dive. There's a button in Metal Gear Solid 5 where you sort of like dive forward and onto the ground. Woof. I was trying to do a hold up. This has a roll, not a dive. And but the dive in the Phantom Pain, that's Metal Gear Solid 5, the dive ends in like a prone position. So you're kind of like diving into ditches and into a sneaking position. Whereas with this, you just roll through enemies. Oh my gosh, Sloppy. Slow down, man. This was really neat to see this kind of fully realized, a lot more, just in so much more detail, just looking at the wood planks on the bridge. And by the way, I didn't even really show this, but like if you shoot the ropes on the bridge, you can't completely collapse the bridge, but you can kind of cut it. You can either shoot them. I have a tranquilizer gun right now, so it's not going to do it, but you can also just cut them. And if you do that, anything that goes across this bridge is going to almost guaranteed to slide off, and that includes enemies. So I could have just cut the ropes or shot the ropes while they were on it, and that also would have worked. And that's kind of what these games are about. Like, it's one of the reasons why they're so beloved is that there's so many contingencies. It's like, oh, you wanted to try that thing? Oh, you wanted to throw like a poison frog at an enemy and poison them? Yeah, you can do that, you know. But that just balloons out the budget for a video game. They call that feature creep, and it gets so expensive. And that's also, as I've said before, like probably very likely why Kojima got pushed out of Konami.
Major,
he's expensive.
I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
I'm going to pause it real quick. One of the great joys of this game was playing it on extreme. And I never play games on hard mode, especially after I beat them. But my third or fourth playthrough, I was like, I want to play it on extreme. And I came to find they add in extra enemies throughout the game. And that's very similar to what we did in the Twilight Monk game, by the way. In hard mode, we added extra enemies that you wouldn't normally see, and in different positions as well. But in Metal Gear, it plays, because there's so much, what am I trying to say? Like, so many different ways to interact with enemies. Adding one enemy in a new position can change the way you approach an environment that you've been to 5 times before. You know, you won't approach it the same way because the enemy routes are different, or because there's now a guy covering that one route that you would usually go. And I thought that was just so smart to have like another mode that you could do that with.
Is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
So this part, this is one of my favorites. And yes, with the legacy filter on, it just... This feels like home. If I haven't mentioned it before, this game is one of those, like, if you were on a deserted island and it could only take like 4 games or 3 games, what would you take? Well, Snake Eater Delta. There we go. You got any secret theater on you?
Don't shoot!
No, just ammo? Okay. I am not wearing the best camo for this particular part either. You switch it up. Yeah, squares is a good one for this. And I never wear the squares. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to do things that I'd never done. Like, I'd never gone this route. Again, I'm playing on normal mode, so there's a good amount of ammo here too. It ain't like I'm... I wonder if I can hold him up from the ground. I can. Nice.
Don't shoot!
By the way, I'm just tranquilizing him, so you know, this isn't like a horribly violent game. I mean, it can be. Oh, shit. I forgot about that dude. Wow. I can't go in because I'm spotted. Because I caused an alert. And by the way, yeah, I'm listening through the headphones right now, and I'm getting like... Nice, countered him. Oh, that's some serious freaking CQC. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm getting some serious like surround sound footsteps while that was going on with the headphones, which is pretty cool. Normally I wouldn't play with the headphones, but to capture the audio of the voiceover, you know, my commentary, whatever. Like, you guys need to hear me talk and whatever.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
This is a meaty cutscene too.
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Ooh.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power.
Thunderbolt.
The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
Look at the mud on his makeup. It's like caked on. That's so great.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts?
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov
I'm
out
sure
of
it's
there.
nothing. What a goofball. I wonder if we will ever get another Metal Gear by Kojima. If that's even possible. Even if he just wrote out a bunch of ideas. Would love to see a more futuristic one. Modern era. I mean, we had Guns of the Patriots, which was basically that.
So this
It's
is the
amazing.
legendary boss. Huh? Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. Huh. What's a crew soldier doing here?
soldier.
He's the Ocelot commander.
Ha! That's Major Ocelot to you.
You just flex.
Don't you forget it.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
An Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Operatives?
What is that stance? Huh. That gun.
He just meowed like a cat, and then he's mocking you.
If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one!
Look at the textures on the
You
boot.
ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Of course, they end up being rivals for like the next 50 years, and then that carries over even to his clones. Rivals with his clones.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Alrighty, we got to get to that bridge again. I wonder what would happen if you did wake these guys up. I don't care that much. They probably don't even allow you to. No, they kind of allow you to do everything in this game. It would be weird if you didn't. I bet it's game over, though, if you do. I should probably change out my camo. I never use the quick select camo. Hardly ever. Oh, that's interesting. Ah. Ooh. Fancy schmancy. Bricks. Bricks is the worst. What kind of camo do I want for the next cutscene? That's the big question. How fashionable do I want to be? Let's go with straight up olive drab. Just because I can crouch, I crouch all the time. That's my style. Crouch master. I told you this was a lot of cutscenes. This could have been a 5-minute gameplay. If I skipped all the cutscenes, you can play through the whole game in 3.5 hours.
Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best GRU has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
The Shagohod. Probably the worst Metal Gear design, sadly.
That's what they were making you build.
Yes. The Shagohod. The dreaded behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBM.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of
A
operating
Metal
so
Gear.
Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2?
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war?
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Great sound design too. Never gets talked about, but the subtleties of the sound, like stepping on different surfaces. I wonder what would happen if you had cut part of the bridge and then you came back to this cutscene. Would that have altered the cutscene? Because it ain't like somebody comes along and repairs the ropes. I'll have to try that sometime. Boss. You know, I could see a game based on the boss from like the 40s or 50s. That'd be interesting.
Boss?
But what's a Metal Gear Solid game without Snake?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Say what?
Hornets.
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once
He looks so
more.
cool. The Fury.
Welcome back,
The end.
boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself.
So I never saw that as red blood in the original.
It's raining blood.
Does that make sense?
Is he crying?
The sorrow? There he is.
Kuwabara, Kuwabara. Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country.
And to my unit.
And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished.
He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
He probably would have, if it was an option. She's super tough, man. Snake's got to weigh 180, 190 pounds, maybe 200.
The new blood has been rejected.
At most, she's 110, unless if she's got a lot of muscle. Which she would have to.
Are we done here?
Now, on to Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
So that means the entire Cobra unit defected as well. I believe their former Fox unit. And that Major Tom was, and he founded Fox. Before it was known as Foxhound.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah, just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First, open the survival viewer with the survival viewer button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment.
Before we get into that, so I had to look this up. Apparently, the Cobra unit was never, this is according to Google, the Cobra unit was never part of Fox. They were a separate, unaffiliated Special Forces team, but they were working for the Americans. The origins say that the Cobra unit was a legendary World War II squad assembled by the boss, who is also known as the Joy, right? So we knew that. The motivations, the members of Cobra unit possessed supernatural abilities and were fiercely loyal to the boss. After the war, the unit was disbanded, but they were united in 1964 to follow the boss's apparent defection to the Soviet Union during the events of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. So that's really interesting. So the boss was the founder of the Cobra unit, but she only joined the Fox unit for this mission. And they thought that she was working with the Fox unit. But when she defects, she brings in her former unit of the Cobras, who were all war heroes. They were all American soldiers during World War II, apparently. It doesn't specify American, maybe a mercenary force like a PMC. That's really interesting because their loyalty to the boss like supersedes their loyalty to the mission, which is in a sense how Snake is different. His loyalty is to the mission, which is more in line with what her stance is. And once you know the outcome of the story, like that starts to make a little bit more sense. Anyway, I'll let this scene finish out. We got to like heal ourselves up, and she's just going to tell us how to do that.
Healing is divided into 2 types of treatment: medicine and surgical procedures. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone, and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with a movement stick to the affected part of your body, and press the enter button. Once you've selected the affected area, use the movement stick to select the medical item, and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
So there's a couple of things that they fixed. First of all, they added a lot of quick key selects. So like even being able to go to the cure menu with just the D-pad, super useful. They also separated out, the wound is still open. I need to suture it up, bandages it. You can do it in any order. Don't need a split. Sometimes I just go through here and I just go bing, 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 because I never run out of equipment or supplies. So that's just like a cheaper way to do it. Like if you're in a hurry, which sometimes when you're in the middle of combat and you got to stop to heal, it does feel like just do it quick. But also, if you get scars, you keep them throughout the whole game. That's like one of the things they added to this version. So you get like a bullet wound in your chest. You got a scar. You'll have a scar when you beat the game. Pretty cool. It gives them more purpose and meaning to the some of the shirtless costuming designs that you can choose. Some of your camo. I'm glad they fixed his face. In the very first video that they ever showed, he just didn't look like Snake, or something a little off about him. I really feel like they got it by the end. I mean, he looks like the definitive, I would say the best looking Snake. Some people might disagree with that. It's just how I see it.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
No, Fulton. See, not a great design. I'm not a big fan of the Shagohod. Like, I wouldn't buy a model kit of the Shagohod. But I got a Sahelanthropus coming in March from IGN or whatever. And a Rex. At least second guessing his gun choice, I think. Yeah, Snake did say to him, it's like your technique is more of a revolver technique. So that's how he becomes known as Revolver Ocelot. It was Big Boss that gave him the name. Or Naked Snake.
A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her.
She just kind of appears out of nowhere.
Not so fast, my dear.
They must have got her from the other facility. And she was Sokolov's woman? Sokolov had a wife and kids in America.
A kiss of death.
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
Boosh! Yeah, so that's the virtuous mission, and it's pretty much, if we were to continue right now, it goes immediately into the title. Actually, I will just play this sequence. Goes into the title screen, and then it goes into the actual game. So Kojima always tends to do this thing where you sort of get like a vertical slice of the game. And then once you get that vertical slice of the game from like just this beginning portion, it sets up like, here's how the gameplay works. Here's the pacing. Here's the kind of stealth you're going to be doing. Here are all the core mechanics sort of designed in this controlled environment, this controlled sequence. Also, during that sort of prologue, I guess you'd call it, like they set up the story, they set up the characters, the exposition, all the conflicts, everything from a storytelling standpoint. If you were to study storytelling, everything in the setup is in that prologue. Everything, it's like act one, all in one. You've got your inciting incident, you've got your establishment of characters and motivations, you've got also setting up things like, you know, the core mechanics that you're going to be utilizing throughout, the way that they want you to think, the language that they want to speak to you in, is all established in that prologue. There's so much to dissect. There's so much to learn from a game development standpoint from playing this particular game. And it's partly why it's regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. It really set up, if you were to dissect it like in a university or something, at a high level of dissecting, you know, what works and what doesn't work in game dev, this intro, that whole virtuous mission, is a masterclass. And I could go on for hours and hours about how and why, but like every aspect of it really boils down the vertical slice of everything that you're going to be experiencing through the game, the kind of tone, the kind of humor, the kind of characters, the kind of atmosphere. You know, it's all there. Everything is there. And then the rest of the game is just elaborating on that. And in many cases, Kojima is very, very hands-on with this like beginning section that sets all this stuff up, but then he tends to like hand off a lot of the rest of it to the rest of the team. And then he's just sort of monitoring and keeping track of it, keeping it all on the rails throughout development. But you have to establish all that stuff in the beginning before you really dig into it. You can't just suddenly change things, you know? Although, to be fair, they do add like tons and tons of new features like throughout the game. You know, this is just like my assessment, obviously, from a game developer standpoint. It was just like, wow, it really embodied everything that we know we're going to be playing throughout the rest of the game. Or at least the concepts and everything I just said. I like being able to like pause the recording to just dig a little deeper into the lore, like digging up a little more info about the Cobras, digging up a little more info about like, you know, the backstory of things. And I'd love to, if I continue this playthrough, if you'd like to see it, we'll dig in a little bit more. Coming back in the next video, and we'll play a little bit more of the actual game beyond the Virtuous mission, where Snake is going to go back to the Soviet Union.